What's up, All Eyes DB Camp fans? I'm back at it again for 2021. Took a little time to rest and relax during the holidays, but we're going to start getting things cranked back up here for 2021. We have a new national champion in college football. It seems a lot like the old national champion. It's the Alabama Crimson Tide and Nick Saban with his 7th overall championship, his 6th while at Alabama, making him the greatest college football coach of all time. But we're not just talking about that. We're talking about this one single play in the game last night. If you watched it, I'm sure you remember it. It's Devontae Smith wide open, running all by himself, catching a pass and a touchdown, a recurring theme in the 2021 season. A lot of the talk on this play was, why would Ohio State put a linebacker one-on-one with Devontae Smith? Corners have tried and have not been able to get it done. Safeties have tried, have not been able to get it done. Nickelbacks have tried and have not been able to get it done. So why a linebacker? Well, I don't think defense was set up for it to be that way. And the problem here is going to be this guy right here, the free safety. That's who I want you guys to focus on. So this video today is mostly me talking to my safeties. I speak often in my sessions, and I've talked about it in this members area, about the importance of a back pedal, where a lot of people are trying to eliminate it from practice and from use by defensive backs. I'm here to tell you that it's still the essence of playing defensive back. It is still super important, and we're going to see why in this video. Because if we had a safety that was comfortable with a back pedal, that was used to backpedaling and used it correctly in this, we may not, and I stress may, we may not have had the disaster that we had on this play. At the very least, the safety would have been close enough when the ball arrived to Devontae Smith's hands to possibly be able to jar it loose, knock it out, or maybe even intercept it. But because he's not comfortable backpedaling and it's not something that's been ingrained in his head, we have the problem that we had in this. So let's set this up real quick. What we have right here is basically it's quads. Okay, and by that I mean 1, 2, 3, 4 guys strong here. Typically, this is a run formation, as teams will often, run into the line of scrimmage this way. What they're trying to do by putting 4 guys onto the one side of the formation is trying to get you to move all your defenders over here. Let me come back out of that and make you light over in this area, and then they just run back over into it. That's what a lot of teams do. The Alabama offense has been anything but traditional under Steve Sarkisian, who was very inventive, very creative, and put teams at a mismatch all year long. Nevertheless, let's first talk about alignment here for Ohio State. They're lined up fine. They're lined up fine. We've got a man over a man here. So we've got a guy over this guy. We've got a guy over this guy, a guy over this guy. We're fine here backside. Wade's on the backside. And we've got 2 guys in a box. We've got a 6-man box. So we're fairly okay. Let me quit zooming in there. We're fairly okay should they happen to run here. And I stress fairly okay because Najee is very good at breaking tackles, but hey, you can only put 11 guys out there. All right. Nevertheless, here's a little bit of the problem that happened here. This is a cover 3, okay? May have been a match 3. There was a little bit of a bust, I think, over on this side of the field, but that's not what we're going to focus on. So this guy's back. This guy bumps and then rolls out here for some reason. This guy rolls over here. They rolled hard. And that's when we see Smith go here. And then this linebacker, this guy bumps out here, I believe. And then it's this linebacker, the Mike of all linebackers. I mean, the guy least capable of covering any wide receiver, let alone the Heisman Trophy winner, is a guy who ends up on this. So, again, the fact that he's the one that ended up being underneath really tells me that there was no way this defense was designed for him to be man for man with the number 3 wide receiver, especially when it's Devontae Smith. So my guess, and I'm not in the Ohio State playbook, is that this guy right here was supposed to be more of a factor in what happened at the end. But I'm going to show you why he wasn't. So let's just run it here a little bit. All right. All right, so what we get now from the free safety, and I want you guys to put your focus right here for now, all right, is there's an initial back pedal. It's good, but he bails out of it too soon, okay? You guys can see that because it's kind of small. If you can see that right now he's in good position. You've got the routes 10 yards underneath you. But because Mac Jones, who has been a good quarterback all year long, doing the right things, is eyeballing this over here. He's eyeballing things in this direction. That draws this safety out of his back pedal and into a crossover run, turning his back to this side of the field, which is eventually where the ball ended up. Okay, so we'll run it back several times and you guys can see it. Focusing now on the free safety. Again, this guy right here, you're going to see him pedaling, and then there's the turn, and that's all Mac Jones was looking for. The moment that free safety turned, ball is released to Devontae Smith, who's coming in this area. All right. Now with this safety's back turned, it's going to be very difficult for him to redirect and get back over here and make a play on the ball, as we're going to eventually see. But I'm going to just run this back again, showing you what happened here. Pedal. As soon as he opens, ball's out. It's over the head of this linebacker. Ball is caught. And then we've got a touchdown. All right, so what should have happened on this particular play? If you're a free safety and you work your pedal, you're comfortable with your pedal, and you learned to be in that pedal, you would have, at the most, you would have gotten your depth right here. When you noticed Mac Jones eyeballing things to this side of the field, and let me just say this, that this was Jalen Waddle right here. Now, granted, I know Jalen Waddle was really on one leg last night, but again, it's Jalen Waddle, and you never know what you can trust. The fact of the matter is he has a reputation. So I understand the free safety thinking a little bit about who's over here and that it is potentially a speed guy, but nevertheless, forget about all that. If you're comfortable in your pedal and you've learned how to weave and you've worked your weave, you pedal here, all right? You start getting your depth, all right? Once you see the play fake by the quarterback here, you know it's time to get deep. It's a play fake. They're trying to take a shot, especially with them being on the 40-plus 45-yard line. And then at the very most, you weave with your shoulder square. You don't open up and start running and give this up. You don't give that up, all right? You're able to stay square in your weave as you move over in this direction. And once you see this quarterback, once you see Mac bring his eyes from here back over into this direction, you can either start weaving, or if you see his front hand come off of the ball, now you're in a better position to run from your squared position, your weave position, over to that ball being thrown. But once you've turned your back, all right, as we see him do here, once he turned his back like this here, and again, I hope you can see that. If you're watching this on a computer, then you can. If you're watching it on your phone, you may or may not. But I'm telling you, he has turned and opened this way, and now coming back in this direction becomes extremely difficult. If he was square in this position, because he's weaving to the middle of the field, and you don't have to feel that much pressure here. You are in cover 3 where there's, a deep third defender. Supposed to be, you've got a deep third defender here, then your job is to weave in between here and here. And then you only open and run when that quarterback takes his front hand off the ball and it's imminent that he's going to release the ball deep, either to your middle third or one of the outside thirds. Outside of that, there's no reason for you to be opening your shoulders and turning and running. And I'm telling you, this is a direct function of not working your pedal in practice, all right? Let's look at it again. Imagine him now if he was in a weave instead of opening his shoulders and running. Like he could have been closer here. He would have definitely have been closer. Let's watch it again. If he's in a weave, ball's thrown, man, imagine him coming out of there. He can lay a hit on this guy or throw his hand in this basket. But you're asking this linebacker you see him laboring there. This wasn't going to work, okay? And yes, this linebacker is supposed to run with this, but be under it. And if he's under it, that means he's got help over the top. But that help just never occurred. Never occurred. It's a pretty good play design. All right, we got to give Sark his credit. He did great all year. That's why he's now going to become the coach at Texas, because he called great plays in Alabama in his rehab assignment. But man, free safety here did not do himself any favors opening his shoulder. So the moral of the story here, guys, is corner safeties, especially you safeties though, you guys got to work your pedal. So if it's not happening as part of your individual period, it's not something that you guys work on, orchestrated in practice, you got to stay after. You got to spend that 5-10 minutes after practice working your pedal. Yes, it's boring. It's monotonous. It's seems even elementary. It's stuff they do in Little League, stuff you do as JV in high school. Guess what? You needed it on a college football field in the biggest game of the year, and you got to be able to pedal. Okay, the safety, free safety, had a strong pedal to begin with. He would have had nice depth, even nicer depth, and if he had worked his weave and felt comfortable weaving, he wouldn't have turned his shoulders out of this prematurely and just giving Mac Jones and Devontae Smith an easy hookup. All right? All right, so that's the moral of the story here on this one. I hope you guys understand that. And if you don't, you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, cwilson@alleyesdbcamp.com. That's cwilson@alleyesdbcamp.com. Hey, listen, this 2021. Start talking to your friends that are DBs or other DB coaches about joining this members area. Going to have a lot of great stuff in here in 2021. Going to up everyone's IQ, get everyone better. This was the worst year of defense I've ever seen on both the college and the pro level, but especially in the college football level. So that just goes to show me that we've got a lot of work to do in the secondary. As we know, football is, they're making rules and they're designing things for teams to score points. We've got to, appeal to people's low attention span, but that doesn't mean we just run around and let these guys go up and down the field and score 50 points a game. It's outrageous. We've got to start doing something. So if you've got a friend that's a coach or a player, start talking to them about joining the All Eyes DB Camp members area for your players. We'll be doing evaluations for you guys. Anyone that wants it, I'll take a look at your film and send you guys an evaluation. All right? Okay, that's enough with all of that other stuff. So again, if you guys need to reach out to me with any questions about this, cwilson@alleyesdbcamp.com. Thank you guys for being members. All Eyes DB Camp. Consistency breeds results.